After the journey, he and his wife Gina are singers, writers, boat restorers, and boat builders. And when you see the latest edition of the Vero Beach magazine, there's an 8-page spread on it. So you're getting a preview of it. So with no further ado, Lonnie, come up and talk.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Stuart. I hope I can live up to it. I might as well get this out of the way first. My name is Lonnie Robertson, and I'm a voter. There you have it. It's sort of like friends of voting. I've tried all my life to sort of get away from that, but I've never been able to do it. The meds don't work. None of it. The therapy, I just haven't been able to get away from being a voter at all. And I've given up trying. I'm just going to go ahead and be a voter. She's recording this for posterity so that my parole officer will realize that I was not shirking my duty today. And I'm actually very good. As Stuart said, I started out my journey to Vero on the west coast of Africa. I was born there a long time ago, and I feel I'm in good company today because of Elizabeth, who actually has worked down in South America in one of those underdeveloped countries from which I hail. I am now, of course, a U.S. citizen, but I was born on a rubber plantation in Liberia, West Africa, which is a sort of odd place to come from. At the time that we lived in Liberia, there were actually three forms of entertainment that we had there on the plantation. One was every Sunday night we had a movie, and it was in a room not much bigger than this, on a really old projector, and the movies would be sent from the U.S., and everybody in the plantation would get together and watch movies on the Sunday night there. The second form of entertainment was the BBC in London, because all we had was shortwave radio, and we all listened to the BBC News. It was right after the Second World War, and the BBC News was a very trusted, and still is for that matter, organization a lot of people listen to. The third thing that we all could do had to do with boating in the beach. The plantation was about, I'm going to say 25 miles down the Farmington River from the beach. So a lot of us used to take a boat and go down there and go to the beach and have cookouts, you know, whatever we could. So those were our three forms of entertainment. I got into boating kind of strangely because I was really young, and we had a 16-foot runabout that my father had purchased from a missionary by the name of Renfrew. And the missionary apparently had forgotten his prayers one morning, and he ran the little runabout into a log in one of the creeks, putting a hole of about 1 foot diameter in the bow. And he gave up and sold it. My father bought it. And it had a 25 horse Johnson on it, so even in those days, I was actually supporting Francis Langford. When my father got the boat, he said, "You're too young to use the motor." So I couldn't use the motor. What I did was I found a dugout canoe. I know most of you guys have seen that. This dugout canoe was approximately 18, 19 feet long, and it was cut out of a cottonwood tree. And I wanted it, and Liberia has a rather strange currency. They had a 2-cent piece, which is about the size of a $50, about the size of the face on this mallet, or on this gavel here. So I collected 32 cents worth of those 2-cent pieces and a little can of Borden's Eagle brand sweetened and condensed milk. And with that, I was able to purchase my dugout canoe and one paddle. So that's how I got involved in it. But if I keep going like this, we'll be here until next Thursday. So I'm going to fast forward. I graduated from college in the United States, but I went to school mostly in Europe because Europe was closer than the States to where we were based. But when I got back here, my father operated this plantation, and he was promoted to operating all of the plantations around the world, which are in the equatorial belt, within about, say, 6 to 8 degrees of the equator where the rainfall was high enough. But they promoted him and sent him back to Akron, Ohio, which was the home base at that time of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, and he bought a farm down in the Amish country, and he said, Lonnie, you should go down there and take care of the farm for me. I'll pay you $300 a month and take care of the farm as a place to live. So I did that. But that was back in '78. How many people in here remember the blizzard of '78? Yeah, okay. You're going to know what I'm talking about. It snowed 9 feet on our farm down in the hill country. We had to get the National Guard to come in with a dozer and to get us out. But I had 9 geese, and it was a hill farm. And those 9 geese went down onto the bottom of the valley. And the cold came in, and they were so cold that I went down and I had to carry them individually up the hill. And I was about my 8th goose. I was carrying a goose. Sorry. And I thought to myself, my God, what are you doing here? This is ridiculous. You were born in West Africa. The weather was wonderful, just like here, you know. And I thought to myself, that's it. I'm leaving. And I decided to move to Florida because I had visions. I'd buy a boat, then I would live in a marina. And I already played the guitar, you know, for a living basically. And I thought, I'll be sitting in the cockpit of my boat in a marina in Florida, drinking pina coladas, jamming with Jimmy Buffett, and it's going to be a wonderful life. The boat worked out. I got it. And after that, I was, you know, hooked on that living. I've lived aboard. Jenna and I have lived aboard for what is it, Jenna?
30 years.
Yeah,
30
years
almost
we've
31.
lived on. Now we have a trawler, but it went through a process. I finally got rid of the trimaran, you know, that I bought, and I'd fallen in love with a John Alden yawl. It was a yawl at the time, and it was hull number 202 for those of you that are into boats and follow these things. Built in Neponset, Massachusetts in 1923. All right.
Wooden boat.
It was a wooden boat, obviously, with long leaf yellow pine over white oak frames, and in the most disgusting state of disrepair you've ever
This
seen.
is a picture of
I'm
it.
going to get a book here. I wrote this book on the boat. It's called The Borealis, a true story about living aboard while restoring a 90-year-old wooden boat. All right, and these things are for sale, actually. If you want one, we're down to. What do we have here? 4 of them?
4.
Yeah, we're down to 4 of them. The reason
You
I
can't
wrote,
get them on Amazon.com.
You can't get them on Amazon. The reason I wrote the book in the first place is because I wanted Supreme Pizza. Now, I've never actually sold enough books to buy that Supreme Pizza. But anyway, a long story short, I bought the boat, and before I bought it, I realized that you are supposed to get a survey when you buy a boat. And so I hired a surveyor down in Fort Lauderdale, and we made an appointment. He met me at the dock at, I think it was 8:30 in the morning on a Tuesday or something like that. And I was there. I had no idea what this was for, but I knew it was a formality, so I did it. He went on board the boat with his bag of surveyor's tools, and within, I'm going to say less than 30 seconds, probably more like 25 seconds, he came back out of the